Over the course of his 30 years in video gaming, Mario has made a lot of friends and even more enemies. So like any normal human being, he enjoys spending time with these people. Sometimes he likes to golf with them, maybe shoot some hoops, or even throw a crazy house party. Whatever he's doing that day, Mario always has a colorful gang of characters to join him. But sometimes he makes some pretty dumb decisions when making up the guest list for these events. Doesn't he ever stop to think that maybe those of us at home don't want to go go-karting as Baby Peach? Or lobby some tennis balls as Donkey Kong Jr.? Yes, the Mario universe has a great and varied bundle of characters, but not all of them deserve to be playable.
So I'm taking a look at the 10 worst offenders. This is my list of the 10 worst playable Mario characters.
Remember Mario Tennis on the Nintendo 64? Remember unlocking Shy Guy as one of the hidden characters and how cool that was? It was the first time Shy Guy had ever been playable, and I don't know about you, but I freaking love Shy Guy. They're probably my favorite Mario enemies, and he's actually pretty good at tennis too. So flash forward a few years to the sequel, Mario Power Tennis, possibly the best of the Mario sports games. This time, Shy Guy is available from the start, but there's still hidden characters, so your expectations are soaring through the heavens. Who could these hidden characters be? I wonder if they're as cool as Shy Guy from the first game. So you work real hard to meet all the requirements to unlock the new characters, only to find...
Shy Guy. With a propeller on his head.
Yes, number 10 on my list is Fly Guy. Now, I have no problem with Fly Guy as an enemy, and in fact, I think he's actually better to play as than even Shy Guy in this game, but he's just such a cop-out. It's Shy Guy, but he's got a propeller. At least Koopa and Paratroopa, essentially the same idea, are different colors. Plus, Paratroopa was in the first game, so he gets a pass. Fly Guy just isn't as interesting. In games like Mario Baseball with huge rosters full of characters, I don't mind so much seeing slight variants on common enemies, but in a game with a limited selection of characters like this, I can't help but feel like Fly Guy is just taking up space that could go to somebody else. Like Toad! Let me ask you something. When you play a Mario spin-off title, who do you play as? Luigi? Drybones? Diddy Kong? How about Harry? Plum? Clay? What's that? You have no idea who those last three are? Well then, congratulations! You just made my point for me. For reasons I'm not completely sure of, Camelot decided to make up a bunch of random human characters to make playable in their various sports games, starting with Mario Golf on the Nintendo 64, but mainly for their handheld titles, because they decided to go the RPG route with those games. In that regard, I kind of get it. They wanted to populate the golf courses and tennis courts with more than just the average Mario crew, and basically make professional and up-and-coming athletes in the Mario world. In terms of storytelling in those games, sure, why not? But you know what? When I play a Mario game, I want to play as the crazy characters of the Mushroom Kingdom, not some random anime kids I've never heard of. It's especially appalling in Mario Golf 64 because at the start of the game, you only have access to 4 characters, and 2 of them are these random humans you've never heard of. Mario isn't even available at the start of the game. You have to unlock like 4 boring humans before you even get to play as the guy whose name is in the title. What the frick? You know what the last Mario game to have random human characters in it? Mario is missing, and we all know what a load of ass that was. Nobody wants to play as the Mushroom Kingdom equivalent of your dad in a Mario game. We want to play as caterpillars. God damn it. Hey, how cool was that Mario Kart 8 DLC, right? Tons of new tracks to race on, many of which were brand new, some new vehicles, that was neat. But the best part of it was probably the fact that they put Link from The Legend of Zelda and the villagers from Animal Crossing in the game. Wasn't that crazy? Almost makes you forget that they also shoved yet another version of Mario, Peach, and Bowser in there as playable characters.
But I didn't forget, Nintendo. I never forget.
Yes, I am of course talking about Tanuki Mario, Cat Peach, and Dry Bowser. Now, to be fair, I don't hate the idea of playing as these characters, so long as they are alternate costumes or something, which Mario Kart 8 already offered by letting you choose between boy and girl villagers, as well as multicolored Yoshis and Shy Guys. But no, these 3 take up their own slots on the select screen and were included as paid DLC. That's some Capcom shit right there. Granted, you got a bunch of awesome tracks with it, but that doesn't change the fact that playing as Cat Peach was a selling point for some reason. It's just Peach! in a cat suit! Yes, she's adorable, and they have cute animations, which is why they're not higher on this list, honestly, but it's still just Peach! She's already in the game! 3 times! There are plenty of characters not in the game that I would have much rather paid money for, like, say, Diddy Kong?
I love you. It's covered in dust.
Also, I know a lot of people really like Dry Bowser, and he's actually been playable in quite a few games at this point. I like Dry Bowser too. I think he looks awesome and he makes for one hell of a boss, but I'm sorry. He should not be his own character in a game like this, especially in games like Mario Tennis Open and whatever the Wii U one was that had pathetically small rosters to begin with. At the rate we're going, the next Mario Kart is going to have 8 Marios, 6 Peaches, and 4 Bowsers. It's getting out of hand. But at least there will always only be one Waluigi. The Mario Strikers series is weird. It's really violent, and the characters act like assholes the whole time. You ever see one of those bootleg hoodies with Mario on it and like a jacket smoking weed with bling all over it? That's how all the characters in this game act. It's kind of off-putting, honestly. Well, except for Waluigi's infamous crotch chop. I accept that as canon. But despite this, the games are actually a lot of fun, and the rosters, while small, are pretty standard Mario fare. And since you get sidekick characters, they were able to throw in mooks like Drybones and Boo without taking a spot from anyone major. I don't know why Bowser wasn't playable until the sequel, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm instead here to talk about the Super Team. The Super Team is a team of really out-of-place robot guys who act as the final opponents in the game, and can be unlocked if you beat them. This was more or less self-insertion, as I'm almost positive Next Level Games, a development team I like a lot, by the way, intended for these super robots to be some sort of mascot for the company. But since they decided to throw him in as the only unlockable character in a Mario game where he doesn't belong, it seemed nobody cared for it, and they dropped the poor bastard pretty quickly. He only briefly cameos in the credits of the sequel game, scrubbing the floors after everything is done and over with. I think that really says it all about how fans felt about him. Oh, look at baby Mario. He thinks he's big playing tennis. Look at that little tennis racket, how cute. Oh, he brought baby Ouija with him to race karts. What little cuties. I love them so much. Baby Peach is in Mario Kart now, too. Okay, well, she's cute with her little binky, and she was in Yoshi's Island DS and Partners in Time, so I'm okay with this, I guess. What the hell? Baby Daisy? That's not a thing. She wasn't in a Yoshi game. She's adorable, and I'm sure Daisy was a baby at some point, but this just seems kind of lazy. Baby Rosalina! Okay, this is getting out of hand. She's a cutie, but Diddy Kong isn't even in this game. Why are there so many babies? Who's next? Baby Metal Mario? Stop it. Just stop it. No more babies. Tell the stork to stop. Mario and Luigi need to get vasectomies. Stop with the babies!
If you would have asked me a few years ago, this character would have been number 1 on this list. But, like I said, that was a few years ago and my opinion has changed, mostly because even worse characters have cropped up since then. But the more I think about it, at least to this character's credit, she is unique. She's not a baby form or a metal form or Mario in some extravagant outfit. She's a unique character. But she's still such an odd choice and included in a game that was already missing so many beloved characters that I can't help but hold a grudge against her. I am, of course, talking about Honey Queen in Mario Kart 7.
Why Honey Queen? She appears in like 3 levels between Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. Sure, she's memorable, mostly because you climb all over her, honeycomb, but there are tons of other more memorable characters in the Galaxy games. Lubba, the Gearmos, the Whittles, Coach, any number of enemies. Hell, I'd rather play as Bill Board if I'm being perfectly honest with you. She just stands out like a sore thumb, and since characters like Waluigi, Bowser Jr., and, again, Diddy Kong were left out of Mario Kart 7, it makes her inclusion sting all the more. Sting? Get it? I didn't even plan that. It's in the script.
Oh, I should probably make one of those bee memes that the internet likes so much, since I'm talking about Honey Queen, huh? Let's see, which one to use? This one's good.
Bees?
When I first decided to do this list, I had no intentions of including this character on here, especially not this high. I didn't want to put third-party characters and instead focus on the denizens of the Mushroom Kingdom. Not to mention, he's only playable in one game in one mode in that game. So he barely counts. But the more I thought about it, the more I decided I couldn't not put him on this list. Because not only is he one of the worst characters to ever be playable in a Mario game, he's one of the worst characters in video gaming, in my opinion.
Eggman Mega. Ugh, I hate this guy. I really don't even want to talk about him. Mostly because I don't want to hear a bunch of Sonic fans getting mad at me for shitting on a Sonic character in a Mario video. But here it goes. Eggman Mega is an alternate dimension version of Dr. Eggman, first appearing in Sonic Rush. Now that already sounds like some DeviantArt shit, but it gets worse. Whereas Sonic's alternate dimension form was Blaze, a unique and interesting character, Eggman Mega looks like Eggman, but he's in darker colors. Because dark colors are cool, I guess.
When I was a young boy, my father...
He's lazy, he's lame, and I hate him so much. And he hasn't been in a Sonic game proper since Sonic Rivals 2, which is why it's even more baffling that he showed up in a few of the Mario and Sonic games, and most recently was playable in the 3DS version of Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games. They need to shorten these titles. He's only playable in one event, the long jump. Because I guess every character is only playable in one or two events in this version, which is dumb as it is, but having Eggman Mega as one of the only characters in the long jump just adds insult to the whole fucking thing. He's never been playable in a Sonic game. Never. Not even in Sonic Runners, and that game lets you play as Mephiles the Dark.
I was expecting you sooner. As you must know, you're already too late.
When I was a young boy,
My father...
This is so far his first and only playable appearance, and that is why he is on this list. That and he's terrible. God damn it, he's terrible. I hate Eggman Mega. I really hate Eggman Mega. The fact that he's only number 4 on a list of terrible characters is just... He should probably be number 1, but he's not. He's not a Mario character, so I showed him some mercy. Not that he deserves it. Fucker. I mentioned earlier how Cat Peach, Tanuki Mario, and Dry Bowser bother me because they're just alternate forms of existing characters and could easily be costumes instead of taking up spots on any roster. Well, Metal Mario is even worse because he's not even a cool outfit swap. He's just a palette swap. Okay, yes, he still does look very cool, and he is based on an existing Mario power-up, but he's still just Mario. But shiny. I know he has his fans and he's been playable in a lot of games and is a pretty cool boss in Super Smash Bros., which has led plenty of people to argue with me about whether or not he's his own character and not just Mario, which I guess is a cool theory, but that's never actually been officially stated anywhere. I'm just led to believe Mario is playable multiple times in multiple games and that he is probably using the Metal Box to cheat. I mean, I imagine he swings a club harder when he goes all Colossus on everyone. At the very least, he's probably a lot more painful to crash into in Mario Kart. And while we're on it, throw Gold Mario from Mario Golf World Tour and Shadow Mario from Mario Golf Toadstool Tour on there. They're just as bad. Shadow Mario especially because he looks like Mario but is actually Bowser Jr. So he's two different characters that are already playable. Oh boy. Now we're into some real confusing shit. If there is one thing that really bugs me in the Mario Party games, it's the Koopa Kids, or Mini Bowser as they're known as in other parts of the world. No, not the Koopalings, they're different. I mean Bowser's little minions only in the Mario Party games that look exactly like him but smaller. For the most part, That's fine. I mean, Bowser has to come from somewhere, so having an entire Bowser species makes sense. The problem I have is that the Koopa Kids look just like Baby Bowser, a character which already existed in several other Mario games. There are some slight differences, but if you ask the average Mario fan to point them out, they'd probably just say they're identical. It gets even worse when you take into consideration that by Mario Party 5, the first game Koopa Kid is playable in, Bowser Jr. existed. And Bowser Jr., being Bowser's son, also looks just like Baby Bowser, which looks just like Koopa Kid. Now there are 3 different characters in the Mario universe that all look almost exactly the same. You could argue that the Koopa Kid is just a species like Koopa or Goomba, which, okay, sure, but why did they decide to make them playable instead of, say, Bowser Jr.? And why are they playable at all? Bowser is still the bad guy in Mario Party 5. What reason does the Koopa Kid have to be rebelling against Bowser? Is there some deep backstory to this guy I just overlooked? Or did Hudson really want Bowser to be both playable and the villain, so they just settled on this confusing crotch dumpling instead? Either way, it really bothers me that he was ever playable, especially since Mario Party 5 is when they decided Donkey Kong wasn't good enough to be playable anymore. Hudson chose the Koopa Kid over Donkey Kong. That's disgraceful. But somebody must have gotten a clue, because after Mario Party 6, they got rid of him as a playable character, and he hasn't been seen in any game since Mario Party 7, instead being replaced by Bowser Jr., which I am okay with, because Koopa Kids sucks, and the actual Koopalings are back in the spotlight again, and the world is a much better place because of it.
Now, before I get to number 1, which, let's be real, you have all already figured out who it's going to be anyway, I wanted to do a few quick honorable mentions, some of which were even suggested by my Twitter followers.
Drybones in Mario Kart DS. I have nothing against Drybones. I think he's a pretty cool guy, mostly because he's dead and is probably really cold. But I was so disappointed when they removed Koopa Troopa after his triumphant return to Mario Kart in Double Dash and replaced him with Drybones in Mario Kart DS. It's a dumb reason, I know, but I really liked racing as Koopa. Also, the Dry Bomber was a broken piece of shit. Jet the Hawk is playable in Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games in only 2 events, much like Eggman Mega. Jet is super lame and annoying, but not nearly as bad as Eggman Mega. Mimichi from Mario Kart Arcade GP2 may not be the worst character to ever be playable in a Mario game, but he's definitely the strangest. I know Tamagotchi is a Namco Bandai brand, but wouldn't like Apuka or the Prince of Katamari have fit in a bit better? Either way, they replaced him with Don-chan in the next game, and I am 100% for that. Daisy in Mario Kart Double Dash. Not in any other game. I love Daisy, but man, fuck that sound clip. I actually think it's kind of cool Donkey Kong Jr. is playable in Mario Tennis 64, mostly because it's clearly a reference to the often forgotten Mario's Tennis on the Virtual Boy. But you know what other Donkey Kong character also existed by the time Mario Tennis 64 came out that would have made for a much better playable character? Diddy Kong. Smash Bros. Isn't technically a Mario game, but I just wanted to mention how terrible it is that Dark Pit is playable in Smash Bros. 4. There's a rumor circulating online right now about a Mario crossover game for the Switch starring the Rabbids from Rayman. If that happens, put them in the top 10. I got a few suggestions for Spike from Mario Party 10, and I honestly don't know why. I think Spike being playable is awesome, and at least he existed outside of the spin-offs beforehand, but I do wonder how the hell they landed on an enemy that random to be playable.
It's me, the lead developer of Mario Party 10 for Nintendo, who is British for some reason. Time to pick the new playable character in our new Mario Party game. Somebody obscure, no doubt, like we normally do in our Mario Party games. Let's see who it is. Spike? Well, good enough for me. Time to go tell the development team they only got 15 minutes to get it done. Number 1 is Pink Gold Peach. You knew it, I knew it, let's fucking talk about it.
Pink Gold Peach is basically the culmination of everything I've complained about so far. She's an alternate version of an existing character, a character with 3 other versions in the same game, taking up her own character slot. She's just an alternate color instead of an alternate model. She's not from anything, just made up to fill a slot in this one game. She checks all the shit boxes. A cheap, lazy excuse for a character. I remember when it first leaked that she was the last character to be revealed in the game, I thought it was a fucking joke. Like a GameFAQs punchline on like a topic about what's a terrible Mario character. It had to be, right? Metal Mario was bad enough, but a metal version of Peach? That just seems like bad fan fiction. But no, it was real. And I once again cried about the lack of Diddy Kong in Mario Kart 8.
Come on, buddy. You can do it. Just get in the game.
But you know, even after all that, I thought maybe, just maybe, she would go the way of Super or the Mario Golf humans after Nintendo saw the backlash. Because there was backlash. Just how many of my Twitter followers said she was the absolute worst is proof of that. But nope! Just recently, Mario Sports Superstars came out on the 3DS, and you know who the last two unlockable characters are in that game? Metal Mario and Pink Gold Peach. Two lazy characters for a lazy game. It makes me sad to think we may never see characters like Geno or Vivian in a spin-off game, but Pink Gold Peach has been in 2 now. What an awful character.
Yes, first place!
I know the argument is going to come up about how Waluigi and Toadette were both made up specifically for Mario spin-off games, and I didn't say anything bad about them, so first of all, I love them. And second of all, unlike somebody like, say, Baby Rosalina or Pink Gold Peach, Waluigi and Toadette are still their own unique characters and were just made to complement other characters. They're not clones of existing characters or alternate versions of existing characters. Waluigi exists to be Wario's like partner in crime and Luigi's rival, and Toadette exists to be Toad's partner in Mario Kart Double Dash, which, I mean, is kind of a lame reason to make up a character, but it at least is a reason. Pink Gold Peach exists to give Metal Mario some arm candy? I don't know. The reasoning for that is super lame. I know some people really hate Waluigi and Toadette and are going to be really mad that they're not on this list, but I don't agree, and I love those characters, and I don't think they're anywhere near bad enough to be even remotely on this list. So that's why they're not there. I just wanted to get that out there before you all start using those two against me. You probably already have, but now it's there. It's out in the open. Move on. So yeah, I don't really have an outro for this. Let me know in the comments below who you think is a terrible character that's been playable in a Mario game. And fuck Pink Gold Peach. And Eggman Mega. They should get married and jump into a boiling pit of lava together and rid the world of their existence. Let's make room for more Diddy Kong.
Everybody see what I can do, 'cause it's Diddy to the rescue.
You know, when I said no more babies earlier, I didn't mean you. You can be playable in any game you want. What's that? Actually, Mario and Luigi are the same as Baby Mario and Baby Luigi, so actually my vasectomy joke didn't make any sense? Well, who are you, a member of the Actually Police? We will not be raising internet trolls in this house, young lady. Hey, thanks for watching my video. I worked really hard on it. I want to give a quick shout out to my good friend Mark Kelly, aka FryGuy64, for helping me get some footage that I needed for this video. He was a really cool dude, and I'm glad he helped me out, so thanks a lot there, man. Like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment. I already said that. The 10 screen thing has got to go fast. Bye!